If you had one letter to leave behind for your loved ones, what would it say? A few years ago, an elderly man from Oregon was diagnosed with a terminal illness. Doctors gave him only a few months to live. Upon hearing this, most people would have felt despair. Not this man. Instead, he went to the attic to get an old box filled with letters. This was a box that held many memories, but now it had a new purpose. The man took out an envelope and wrote a letter. It wasn't for anyone in his family. It was for his daughter, who he knew would be heartbroken over his death. So he wrote a letter to lift her up and give her hope. He wrote about his undying love for her, but also about life itself. He told her stories about life, mistakes he made and how he overcame them. He offered her advice on how to be a good person and what kind of person to look for. He wanted her to be strong, so he told her he didn't want her to cry for him. He wrote, "Don't cry because I'm gone. Smile because we lived." And with that, he sealed the letter. He put it back into the box and waited for the right moment to give it to her. A few weeks later, he called his wife and kids to his bedside and told them he had something for each of them. To his eldest son, he left his favorite watch. To his youngest son, he left his fishing rod. And to his daughter, he left the box with the instructions to only open it when she turned 30. They all agreed, and so they buried him. For the next couple of years, the family moved on with their lives. His sons got married and his daughter graduated university. Time flew by until one day she came across the box. She was going through a rough time in her life. Her marriage was falling apart. Her job was stressful and she felt completely lost. But then she remembered her dad and the box. So she opened it. She pulled out the letter and read, "My dearest daughter, by the time you're reading this, I'll have been gone for a while. Your mother and brothers will have told you nice stories about me, and you'll have fond memories of the times we shared together. I just wanted to send you this letter so that you could hear these stories and memories from my point of view. I want you to know that even though I won't be here to guide you, my love for you will never leave you. Always remember the times we laughed together. Remember when you were young and we used to play." As she read his letter, she cried tears of joy. Every sentence gave her more strength. He talked about how much he loved her mother and how he worried when she would go off to college. Then he told her about the first time he held her after she was born. He said she was the best thing that ever happened to him. Then he continued, "Life isn't easy, but you have to try to be kind whenever you can. Be strong, but also be humble. Don't cry because I'm gone. Smile because we lived." These words really resonated with her and gave her the strength to push on. She was getting a divorce. She had to take care of herself and 2 kids. She couldn't afford to fall into a deep depression, so she dried her tears and carried on. Every night before bed, she would take out the letter and read it. She read about how her father chased his dreams and became a successful businessman. She learned about the business he started. It was a business that she had heard about so many times before, but now she was hearing about it from her father's point of view. "I worked long and hard for many years to achieve the American dream. I had you 3 kids, a beautiful house, and a stable business. But every night I questioned myself. Was this the life I really wanted? Did I really make this life for myself or for others?" Then he tells her how he decided to sell everything and start over. "I started over at age 42. I sold my business and all of our extra possessions and I bought a small sailboat. We sailed all around the world and visited places you wouldn't believe. When we returned home, I wrote down all the things I learned on my journey. And I opened a school to teach others what I had learned. It wasn't much, but it was honest work. And when I was done for the day, I could go home to my loving family." She felt inspired reading this. It gave her the courage to plan her own future. As she was getting a divorce, she was also taking care of her children. That's why she couldn't just quit her job and take some time off, but she could use her free time wisely. So she took up the hobby of painting, which she enjoyed doing as a child. Her father told her that if you do something you love, you'll never have to work a day in your life. At first, painting was just a hobby. She would come home from work, take care of the kids, and then paint late into the night. She watched YouTube videos and practiced different styles. She tried watercolors, acrylics, and gouache. She even took classes. After 2 years of practicing, she had improved a lot. Her paintings looked just like photographs, but she was still a full-time kindergarten teacher. She was still working 9 to 5, taking care of other people's children. She didn't know what to do. Then she had a breakthrough. She realized she didn't have to choose between being a teacher and a painter. She could do both. She thought about all the parents she knew who had artistic talents, but had to give them up to work a normal job. She didn't want to be like them. She wanted to be an example to other parents that you can chase your dreams no matter how old you are. So she started painting during her vacations and weekends. She entered art competitions and won. She even sold a couple of her paintings. It was all going well until one day she was asked to paint someone famous. This person was very influential, so it was a great opportunity for her. But she was nervous. She had never painted someone famous before, plus she had to finish the painting in only 3 days. So she took the challenge. She stayed up all night painting, and just before the deadline, she finished. The painting was amazing. It was so good that the woman asked her to paint another one, and so she did. From then on, she became known as the best living artist. She traveled all over the world painting important people, but no matter where she went, she never forgot her roots. She always carried her father's words with her whenever she doubted herself. She remembered his words. Don't cry because I'm gone. Smile because we lived. Whenever she faced a challenge, she remembered his words. Be strong but also be humble. Life isn't easy, but you have to try to be kind whenever you can. And whenever she felt lonely, she remembered his words. Even though I won't be here to guide you, my love for you will never leave you. One day she was giving a speech about her experiences. In the middle of the speech, she took out the letter. She showed it to the audience and she read the last part. I may not be there to guide you, but my love for you will never leave you. Love always, Dad. Everyone in the room was crying, especially her mother, who was sitting in the audience. After the speech, she was congratulated by thousands of people, but she only had eyes for her mother. She went up to her, hugged her and whispered, "You were right. He was the best."